Stop here. Stick around. Look at the guy waving his hands right here. Stop. No, I'm joking. What's up, everybody? LinkedIn, YouTube, we are live back for another BizBuzz Live again. I'm your host, Chris Muzan, helping you through all things finance. But today's show on this Friday, December 19th, we're going to be talking a little bit to you retail folks, to people that are in the retail space. You work for a big box retailer, you work for some other store currently, maybe you were thinking about it, maybe you had previous experience there. Today is the day we're gonna have a little conversation for all of you around retail. So stay tuned. Yes. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of BizBuzz Live. It's this Friday, December 19th. I'm your host, Chris Muzan, your financial strategist, helping you through all things finance. So grateful to be back. Always good to do this. Some people don't like sharing their thoughts on the internet, right? We're live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube right now. I love it. I think it builds community. I think like-minded people or people that disagree, right? Listen in and have an opinion. If we have opinion on things, it can start some good discourse and some good conversations that we need to have specifically around this topic of earning money. Again, I give y'all the thesis of this in case this is your first time joining us or your first time watching the replay on LinkedIn or YouTube. But the reason why we do BizBuzz Live is because as a financial professional, I've been in the financial industry for going on 13 years now. And I've sat down with thousands of people, right, where whether they come to us sitting down talking about their insurance, whether they're talking about their savings or their debt or their retirement portfolio or getting a will and a trust set up or any of the financial concerns, the investments that are out there, whatever their financial concerns are, eventually we have to have a conversation about cash flow. Eventually we have to have a conversation about what comes in and what goes out. That would always give me a better picture of where someone sits. The person that only has an extra $200 is different than the person that has an extra $5,000 discretionary income for investing, for paying off debt, for getting their kids to college, whatever it is. So inevitably, the conversation would typically come back to what's coming in, what's going out. Now, as a financial industry, I've said this before, as a financial industry, I think we've done a really good job of like finding where the money's going, whether it's from budgeting apps to software to any other things that the industry, every single bank has like the ability to show you where all your money's going. A lot of these banks and credit unions give you reports back of like what's happening with your spending. You can put alerts on there to see, kind of when you're overspending in a certain area. They always got a little pie graph for you. There's all types of resources to pay attention to where the money goes. We've done that part of cash flow. I think where we've dropped the ball, and most people in our society and our economy, I don't know, right, have dropped the ball, is learning how to earn money, how to bring it in. If we know how to track where it's going, we kind of leave it up to everybody to just figure out how to bring it in. And I think we're moving through a time period in our lives as we head into 2026 where we need to start to diversify how we bring in income. We need to go back to school, metaphorically, not like actual literal institution, but we need to start learning again how to earn money. What are business models that work? How do we figure out what we should be doing? What our niche is, what our gift is, where we can monetize something that's happening or something that we're interested in or something that we're good at, right? We have to learn in this season how to earn money. So that's why we do the show, right? We do the show so we can start talking about those things, whether it's certain industries to pay attention to, certain industries to not pay attention to, what's happening in the job market, what's happening in the entrepreneur market, what's happening in the gig economy. Where do you see yourself? Are you the person that wants to just continue to climb the corporate ladder? I'll just be honest with you guys. I have so much going on my FYP, on my TikTok like timeline, about people that just are understanding how much corporate America is a joke, how much corporate America is not going to sustain our lifestyle over the next 5, 10, 15 years like we previously, or the previous generations believed, right? They did not always believe that, or they used to believe that it was go to school, get good grades, get a job, right? Kind of work up your level, right? Climb the corporate ladder type of deal. And that'll sustain you. You'll have retirement, all those things. It's not panning out that way. And people are just figuring this out. I'm going to do some more deep dive on this on these BizBuzz Lives. So continue to stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about it over on our TikTok page, whether it's my personal or whether it's our Jobs to Journey podcast page, that we're going to talk this over. But this is a conversation of, does corporate America still fit what you are trying to do? Like, is this still leading you to the path of financial success? Again, I have all these videos and all this evidence of people that are out here talking about the fact that this is no longer fulfilling. This is no longer getting them to where they want to go. Before I hopped on this live with you guys, I was looking at something where this girl said she just happened to open up her 401k and take a look because she wanted to see what was going on. And then once she saw it, she put in kind of it had a calculator in there for like, at this rate, like, when will you retire? And hers was like 67 years old, and she was like, she's probably in her like late 20s, maybe early 30s. She looked pretty young, right? Like probably late 20s. She's like, I don't want to work till I'm 67. Like, I don't want to be in corporate and do this like this job until I'm 67. Like, how I live my life is right, like what my life will become, and that's not what I want. And there's so many people that feel that way. There's so many people that are just going through the motions because that's what we were taught. We went to school, we got good grades, we got the job, but now it's not panning out for us. Some people then, right, bounce out to the gig economy. They're trying to figure out what to do. Like, I don't want to be tied down to this job. I don't know what business to start, so I'm going to go drive for Uber, or right, DoorDash or Instacart, or walk someone's dog, or freelance, write papers for people. I don't even know if that's a thing now with AI. Do people still write papers? Remember how back, I don't know. I mean, I've looked at all opportunities, but you used to be able to like get paid to write papers, get paid to write things. Maybe those services are still around. If they are, somebody could probably make a killing on that thing, right? Because you could just use AI to write your papers. Or anyways, but some people pop out into the gig economy. That's what they want to do. Other people say, I do want to go start a business. I do want to build something for myself. I don't want to be under someone's thumb. And then we got to go learn the skills and all the things of how to build a business. That's a whole nother conversation of like, if they told us to go one direction and now we got to go a completely different direction in order to like earn money. Now we got a whole nother learning curve. We got to learn how to be self-employed. We got to learn how to be a business owner. We got to learn how to build a team. We got to learn how to get financial resources. We got to learn how to put systems in place. Like, now we got to learn all this new stuff. Most people are falling in one of those three categories. And so we come to talk about this so we can say, okay, well, let's talk about some ways to earn. Let's change some mindsets around how we're going to earn money. Again, like I said, headed into 2026, guys, we're going to talk a lot about this corporate burnout, this job, this, at the beginning of this year, I'm probably going to do a recap or something at the beginning of this year. This year has been plagued with nothing but layoffs, big governmental and, public, private sector layoffs. 2025 been riddled with this. I probably did 7 to 10 shows this year just on layoffs in some type of industry. And now we're at a place where people are understaffed. They're overworked. The team is running super thin. Now people are getting burnt out and stressed out, and they want to find a different way. So I'm here to help you find a different way. I'm always going to be an advocate for entrepreneurship, but uh, there's many ways. There's many ways to make it happen. There's many ways. We got to talk about all the different ways. Today, though, we're going to talk about retail. Retail jobs. Why? Well, one, I thought it was just appropriate for the season because everyone's doing their holiday shopping. So whether you chose to do it online and do your Amazon, Temu, TikTok shop, or wherever you buy, right? Those are probably the three primary places. Whether you choose to do that or whether you, again, shop online at some of the big box retailers, Macy's online or Boscov's or whatever it is that you do. But many of you are going out into the malls. Many of you are going out into the stores. You're going to the strip malls. I just did a lap around the mall in my area this past week just to see what was happening. I walked into Barnes and Noble because I love looking at the books, and I think books are great gifts, right? I was kind of doing my thing, and there was more people out. So I wanted to have the conversation around, are retail jobs still a thing? Like, are they, meaning, like, is that a thing you should still think about sending your daughter to work in, or sending your son, or if you're in your mid-30s, being a manager at a big box retailer or some type of retail store that's out there? Like, is this still something that we would consider to be a way to bring in income, to be a way to make money? After doing a little bit of research on it, it says retail is still one of the most common jobs for three different people: young workers, old workers, meaning people that are retired, and then people switching careers. Those three, retail is still one of the prominent industries for young workers. So probably, your first job, your second job, you're working in college, you're working out of school, right? You get out of high school and then you don't kind of know what you want to do. So you go test the retail space. You get, the job at whatever place you go to, Zara in the mall. I don't know, right? That just happens to be a name that pops up. But you figure that out. And you go and you're a young worker and you're like, oh, let me just go work at this retail spot, fold clothes, get a chance to hang out with my friends. I was doing a little coaching for some local teenagers in our area. And one of the guys was like, oh yeah, it was Black Friday. Like, he was like, oh, I got to work. I was like, oh, where do you work? He's like, I work at Boscov's. And right, these are like the busy times. This kid's still in high school though. This kid's still in high school, but he's got a retail job. And all of the people that he works with are also his age. When I walked in, I don't think that there was anyone there. I don't think there was anyone in that store that was above the age of 25. So young workers still have opportunity in retail jobs. I think this is great because you get customer service ability. You get the ability to communicate with another human being. For young workers, this builds a skill set. You know how many people are complaining about their kids not having personable skills? I don't know what to call it, right? But skills to deal with people. I get complimented a couple times. I've been complimented a couple times because when I take my daughter out to eat, right? My daughter's 8. When I take her out to eat, I make her order. I make her speak up, look at the server, ask for what she needs. And I've gotten complimented in the past by servers because they're like, man, you don't understand the amount of parents that their 14-year-old is on their electronic thing and they order for them. They order for their teenage child, and the teenager doesn't have good eye contact and isn't engaged in this process of ordering food. Something real simple. But we're losing that, right? We're losing that a bit. So having a retail job for your teenager is oh, now you have to interact with people. There's going to be someone that stops you in the store and asks you for directions. You're going to have to know how to look at them and guide them down the path. You might be the cashier. So you're going to have people keep coming to your register. You're going to have to engage them. Maybe you're in the sales part of retail. You work at, Ashley Furniture. I just threw that out, right? Or another furniture store, something like that. Well, then now you actually have to approach the customer. They have questions. You have to engage with them. Like there's so much learning that can be done for a young person at a retail space. So I think that's awesome. Okay. The second type of people, like it said, that are embracing this retail industry are the retirees, people that are already retired. Why? Well, one, if you need some extra income, you want to do things that maybe don't stress you out. Maybe they're not overly labor intensive because you're a little bit older. It's something, again, you probably already have some skills with, because the skills we're trying to train in young people of like customer service and personability. Is that a word? Personability? Whatever. Right. But, being personable with people, you already have as a retiree. You've probably dealt with people your entire life. Right. You're probably in an industry that you you had to see this all the time, or you had to do this type of stuff all the time. So now I'm getting a little part-time job, folding some clothes and ringing some people up and saying hello and helping people find what they want probably isn't out of your wheelhouse. It's a good way to spend your time. I'm in a bowling league, and I remember one of our teammates in the bowling league, his wife works at Michael's, and I asked her, I was like, "Oh, you work at Michael's?" She's like, it gets me out of the house, away from this guy," and right, talk about her husband. It gets me out of the house, away from this guy. Plus, I get to interact with people. Like, so it's all good. Funny enough, right? Her husband, same thing. Like, was like, I work at the grocery store. I pick up a little extra hours at Weiss. Like, I get a chance to be around some people and talk. And like, there's a social aspect to being in retail, to being in a front-facing job where like you have to deal with people. So for retirees, another great industry. The category that, again, shocked me when I was looking at the results, but the category that really I think we got to pay attention to is the people switching careers, the career switchers, the people that say, hey, I didn't like this corporate America. So I've been in corporate for 10 years. I've been in corporate for 8 years, 7 years. And it's not getting me to where I want to go. It's not something that I feel like I want to continue to pursue. I'm going to have some courage to stop doing that, right? I'm gonna have some courage to not do this job, and I'm gonna take some time and just go into the retail space, clear my thoughts, help some people, have something where it's not overly stressful in my life, so I can get on track. It'll still bring me in some income. I have no problem working on a Saturday or on a weekend, or right. My life is a little bit more flexible, so I might not work all mornings. I might work some nights, but I'm okay with that. I want to be around people. This group of people are the people that we were just talking about last week when we were talking about career minimalism. Last week on BizBuzz, go back and watch the episode. We were talking about this term, career minimalism, which is this wave of people right now that are saying, I just want a job that pays my bills, that like takes care of my living, and it doesn't take a lot of cognitive load from me, right? It doesn't make my energy go specifically into this job. I'm not just my job. My job should not be stressing me out and dictating how I live my life and all the things. I just want something that pays the bills, that I can be happy with, content with, and put my energy over in things that actually do fulfill my life and the things that I want to be able to go do. We were just talking about this last week with career minimalism. And then to see this week that in these retail jobs, one of the largest group of people that are working retail are career switchers, people that are switching careers, is very interesting. It's interesting to know that they might have seen like, oh, this is something that will pay my bills. It's flexible. I can pick up some extra hours. I can not work. It could pay my life, and I can put my energy into figuring out what I want to do fully with my life. I don't think the career switchers are thinking that the retail becomes their next 10-year, 20-year thing. I think they use it as a intermediary, right? Like the in-between time to say, okay, at least I can do this to make some money. clear my thoughts, be a little bit flexible in my schedule, and then I can go off and do the things that I want to go do. Learning that, right? Understanding that the retail industry is there for these types of things, right? The retail industry is there for these types of things. And I believe that they're hiring constantly. Right now, right now, seasonal hiring is at a 15-year low, meaning like people aren't even going after these jobs necessarily. All of these retail stores, the majority of them are understaffed. Why? They're probably because they don't have a ton of foot traffic. Right? That's probably why. But also, this creates longer shifts in people, like people that work there, longer shifts. They get burnt out faster. They have less support for them. A stat here says 63% of workers say shortages make their jobs harder and less safe. So when we don't have enough people filling these roles and filling these positions, it makes their job harder and less safe. I think this could be an area that if you are thinking about switching careers, right? Again, if you're young, great, go play I believe for all young people, not just the ability to learn how to deal with people. I think that's a huge, huge part of our lives. Might not be for their life in 30 years. I don't know. You might be living in a VR society where you don't interact with people. I don't know that that'll be the norm, but like there's probably a group of people that will do that and like kind of not be around people at all. But for the majority of people, I believe like you're going to need people. You're going to want community. You're going to want to be around people and learn how to interact with people. So for young people, not only is that important in the retail space, but also I believe that tasting a lot of different things, I believe everyone should work in a restaurant at some point, or that being said, also in retail at some point. So you just understand how people are and how people operate and how angry people can get and how to handle angry people and people that are frustrated and they take it out on you and it's not like you have to learn how to handle that type of stuff. So I think for a young person, that's great. Also, you get to learn what you don't like and what your skill sets are not. Retail, restaurants, things like that, they'll show you that very quickly. My wife was one of those people. She quickly tell you like, yeah, I like people unless I'm in this situation. She always gives the example of, we used to work at J. Alexander's. I'll just say the name because they're getting some publicity right now for kicking some guy out. So Jay's down in Tampa is getting a little heat. We actually used to work for the company a long time ago. It's where we met. But my wife would always bring up the example of the old couple that splits a burger and has iced tea, and they sit at your table for 3 hours. Right, that's all they order is a burger split in half. Like they each get a half, and they get an iced tea, unsweetened iced tea, and they just sit there for 3 hours to take up your table. My wife had no patience for that. No patience. He still remembers that to this day. And this was over a decade ago, right? 15 some years ago. And she still remembers that's something that she doesn't have patience for, or like she would need to work on if she had to step back into the industry or whatever the case is. I think that helps young people just to learn. Taste what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you like, what you need patience to handle, all the stuff, what's natural for you. I think all that stuff is awesome. And then, like I said, the older group, the retirees, like you might not want to be on your feet all day. Like I get that side. that side for a retiree might be tough. It's like, man, I really don't want to be on my feet all day. But if you do, I think, and you're willing to move your body and stay active and fold some clothes and right, straighten up some shelves and cash some people out right at the register and be personable and say hello and talk to, your local people in your neighborhood or whatever. I think that's really smart too, way to make and earn some additional income if you need extra income in retirement. If you're like, man, just a few $1,000 a month might just do it for me. So like I'm not completely relying on my social security and my small 401k or my small pension or whatever it is. Like this will really do it for me. If that's the case, then again, I think retail is great. The people I think that really should be thinking about this are the career switchers. Like this could be a good midpoint for people that like man, I don't like where I'm at, but I don't know where I'm going yet. And let me just hop out and jump over here to this retail store. They're going to hire you if you have any type of background in dealing with people. And then you get to figure it out. Again, and probably not the end all be all, but then you get to figure it out. Then you get to figure out what your next move is. Then you can start that business on the side. You might not, your job might be so overwhelming for you that it makes you starting a business hard, even though you want to start a business. So maybe this is that career minimalism. Maybe we say, I'm gonna leave this job. I'm gonna take a little bit of a pay cut right now, but I'm gonna go work at this retail space. They're hiring, they got hours. I have no problem talking to people. It's not gonna take a lot of my energy, not a lot of cognitive load on that side. And then all my downtime off of work while I'm recuperating, rejuvenating, resting, recovering, while I'm going through all of that from this burnout I had at my corporate job or whatever, now I get to start that business. Now those extra 10, 15, 20 hours a week that I have actually go into building my future life. The retail job is just the intermediate part of how I went from having a job to being an entrepreneur. When you want to switch careers, you got to have a plan of how to switch careers. People think it's like, I can't drop this now and go to this. You're right. You probably can't. I mean, you could do anything you want to. It just will come with a lot more consequences that might be unnecessary. But taking a pay cut, really important message, y'all. You got to be willing to take a couple steps back to take a giant leap forward. You have to be okay with that. I see this, maybe this is another topic that we can talk about, but I see this all the time in the people's finances, in people's career decisions and how they make money. They think that everything should be better all the time forever. Like they think every job that they get should pay more and be better. Every business they start should be better. Everything. And that's not how it works. You have to be okay to take a couple steps back, then take a leap forward. It doesn't just keep going up. What if you have to go down a bit before you go up? You have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to go from your corporate job that pays you $75,000 a year that you're miserable at, that you're trying to figure out how to get away from. And then you have to take a step back potentially to say, I'm going to get this retail job that will only wind up paying me $50,000 a year, $47,000 a year. I'm going to take a pay cut. I'm going to get a little bit leaner. But then all the extra time that is not cognitively going to me hating my job or me trying to, cover up the fact that I'm very unhappy here. I sleep on my days off. I drink. I go to happy hours. I do all that stuff because I really don't like what I'm doing. Instead, I get away from that, take a bit of a pay cut, take a step back, then spend all that extra time putting it in thoughts, my business, my ideas, how I can change the world, what I want to go off and do in the future. And now I can jump over there when I figured out that business model and how to make money on that side. Retail can do this for you. It's just one option, but I want to talk about it because on LinkedIn, I know there's a lot of retail managers and people that are, are in my community, people that have been in the retail space and that are probably still in the retail space. For all of you that have been there, you probably have a completely different angle because you've been there for a long time. For you, though, it still might be time to spend that extra energy building something outside of the retail job you have. It's never too late. Sometimes it is. I hate these cliches, right? Of like, it's never too late. No, sometimes it's too late. But it's not too late for most of you. If you're watching this, if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube and you're watching this, it's probably not too late for you. You can make some changes. You can do some things different to get your life to the next level. Retail could be one of those things if you're young, if you're older, but more importantly, if you're switching careers and you need something to figure out, okay, I need to just take a step back so I can take some steps forward. Retail might be the thing for you. All right. So I just want to pose this for you on this December 19th, this Friday. We're going to keep talking about ways to earn money, the ways to think about earning money. It's all going to be different in 2026 and beyond. It's all going to be different. How you thought you should earn money back then is not how you're going to earn it moving forward. So we got to adapt to times. We got to learn. We got to change. The ways that we thought about things, or our parents thought about things, is not the way we get to think about things. But how quickly can you change your mindset? How quickly can you change what it is that you're actually putting out in practice? That's what I'm here to help with y'all every Friday, live here on LinkedIn, live here on YouTube. We're talking all things earning money, cash flow wise. Cash flow. It's important to have that conversation. Feel free to follow me on any of the other platforms that you see out there, right? Whether it's TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or any of the other places. We're all over, but here on LinkedIn and YouTube every single Friday, BizBuzz Live. Tune in, catch the replay. Drop your comments, leave a comment for me. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you're in the retail space, if you're thinking about getting into the retail space, if anything I've said today resonates with you, feel free to drop a comment on the video, and or shoot me a DM and shoot me a message, right? Always happy to have those conversations with you guys to help you take your life to the next level and get your cash flow in order. All right, y'all. All right. Hey, Merry Christmas to all of you. I won't see you until the day after Christmas. So blessings to you and your family and those that are around. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. And we'll see you next week.